Oh shit, it's fucking up. We're gonna crash and die. It's the Challenger all over again.
Oh no.
Is it too soon?
We'll never find a planet.
As soon as I said that, is it too soon? I don't know. Hello. Welcome to the Shuttle cast, where Starsky and me
drink from red cups because we gangster.
Because we're gangster. And then we wear nice contrasting sort of color schemes, you know. He's got the red going on, I got the blue going on. And it's unplanned and it's just natural because that's how we do it.
And that's what the podcast is
about. It's all about, yeah. Just our outfit.
So how did you pick your outfit today?
I knew I wanted something that was somewhat long sleeve because it was kind of cold out. But I didn't want to wear like a hoodie or something.
Yeah, because you thought we were doing the podcast outside, right?
And then I looked at all my shit, and I only had like long sleeve T-shirts that were kind of corny. And
all right, thank you.
Ronnie,
welcome to the Shuttle.
I already did that part.
Podcast.
Welcome. And today we're talking about
Inception.
And then we're gonna do
nothing.
I was gonna say hard drugs.
Okay. I thought we plan on doing that tomorrow.
No, well, I moved it up because I have a meeting with my chiropractor tomorrow.
And your AA meeting, right?
Yeah, that's at like 5 a.m. too. It's the crazy thing. I gotta wake up really early for that.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
red cups.
We're gonna talk about Inception today, the Christopher Nolan movie.
It's a masterpiece, and
we're gonna try to see. We're gonna try to see if we can extrapolate some cool ideas that might not be so obvious. Because Inception, what is it about? Tell us, my friend.
Okay, so girl meets boy,
and dreams.
Boy comes out the closet. Whoa. Oh shit! Boy turns out to be a velociraptor
and transgender raptor.
And then he joins the Toronto, and he plays for the Toronto Raptors.
Transgender rapper.
He's a transgender actor. This is the transgender factor. Hey, this is. We also make music. If you didn't know, you'll follow us down. Okay,
and it goes a little something like.
But okay, so Inception's about if you the general. I think what people normally go with is dream within a dream. That's what you remember from that movie, right?
Yes.
So the movie follows these guys who are sort of, they're almost like mercenaries, or like, but they're supposed to be like hired killers. They're hired to plant an idea inside of some guy who's about to become the CEO of a major company because his father's dying or something like that. And they want to plant the idea in his head.
And the way they plant ideas in someone's head is by going inside of someone's dream, because in that little
subconscious,
universe, you can manipulate the dream and the subconscious in order for someone to, subconsciously think that they came up with that
the idea on
themselves.
Their own, right? As opposed to but see, what's interesting about that off a rip for me, if we want to go into something again, I think that's not really talked about a lot with the movie. First of all, I love the movie, right? You love the movie.
Yeah.
I love the movie. Everybody loves the movie. It's awesome.
Classic.
I think it's a little overhyped about how far as like how mind fuck it is. I think it's not that. Like I think if you take the time to really like think about it, a lot of it's
there's not much to really like theorize about.
Or as more, or at least as much as people do. Yeah. I mean, I think there's the top and the end,
bro. It makes my
damn dude.
My eyes go fucking.
Podcast the whole
you
thing.
You can leave them on.
There has to be a match. It has to match, bro. It's got to. I should have a blue cup. That's where we fucked up with this. They do make them. But I think the idea of planting ideas in someone's head, the idea of the idea of the idea, but that's like where I would at first go with it, because that's something that like it's a very real thing, dude. Like the government does shit like that all the time.
Yeah,
where they try to sort of subvertively. Sort of, or not subvertly, covertly, fucking like under the table, sort of plant ideas, not only in individuals' heads, but also like in the public and shit like that, just in general through like subtle marketing and fucking propaganda, et cetera, et cetera. That's a whole.
I mean, right to the government, but the government did, but I think that everybody kind of like attempts to somehow plant some ideas in someone's mind, because we're all kind of like master manipulators in a way, where we all want if we want something, we're gonna do a lot in our power to some people, some more than others, to like get what we want.
Well, yeah, everything is politics,
so,
right?
And there's
making people like you and shit.
And there's
bro.
different techniques of doing that. Like you could just whine like a baby, like babies do. Like they don't know how any other way. Like I want this, and I'm not leaving without it. And then there's the more sort of developed way of doing it, which is like trying to make the other person think that they want to give it to you,
right?
Which is manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, it's even down to like we making jokes about how we're dressed and shit, which was an accident. That's not a joke.
No, yeah.
But that being said, I mean, again, the way you dress when you wake up in the morning, right? You're trying to present yourself to people in a certain way. You want people to like you. You want people to like think of you in a certain light. And again, every time you go out and you spend a lot of money on your fucking sneakers or your T-shirt or this jewelry, you're literally investing in a grand scheme to make yourself look like something to people.
And then to think that a lot of times, like that fashion sense is driven by a larger, this is where we can go into advertising, right? Because advertising is mind control in a way, because you want this can of Coca-Cola,
right? And it's again putting that idea, which is funny because it's so overt, it's so out there, but at the same time, it is like a subconscious penetration in your head. Where like when you see a Coke commercial and then 2 minutes later you're thirsty and you're like, I'm thirsty. Well, I want Coke just because it was the idea was
and
there.
These companies have massive research agencies and people figuring out exactly how they can present this product, but also like how many seconds they can show like this particular piece of the hamburger for people that want a hamburger. Like it goes deep, yo. And also like they put shit inside of the burgers and inside of the whatever product it is to make us want more. Like this is the whole Pringles conversation, right?
I mean, or the classic movie theater thing with like popcorn and soda, where the popcorn is designed to be as salty as humanly possible, so it literally absorbs the water from your cells,
and you want to drink a lot, and that's why they give you these buckets of fucking
It's
Coke.
a 2-liter fucking bottle with a straw in it, bro. They literally might as well start cracking them open, screw the top off. Here you go, you fucking fat piece of shit. Take this.
I wonder if this movie was written sort of as a commentary on this. Maybe not intentionally, but it's so like.
Well, then how could something be written about something unintentionally? You mean I wonder if you could interpret it as such?
Yeah. Dumbass. I mean, the writers maybe didn't think about the advertising, like we were talking about, like mind control and advertising. They thought mind control in general. But advertising, I think, is so out, like you were saying, it's like it's like out in the open. Like everybody, there's ads everywhere. Like there's major companies that their whole income is advertising. But most people are ignorant of the fact that that's kind of like mind control, or not ignorant, but they choose to ignore it as these companies controlling their interess.
Well,
and in the movie,
it bounces right off you, right?
And in the movie, it goes like into dreams where the person is like they have to sneak their way into someone's dream,
make it like make it so that it's natural and he doesn't realize that something's off. You can't just like pop up, here I am, this is what I think. You have to like, if there's a scene where they're like at a party, like at a hotel, and it's like where the fucking rotating hallway and shit is at. Right. They're down in like the bar and they try to manufacture a way to like approach him, you know what I mean? And do it in a way where it feels natural to him and doesn't make him realize this is a dream. Because the minute you realize you're in a dream, you fucking wake up. Yeah. And then the whole operation is a done deal.
And then the whole kind of gimmick about the movie is the dream inside of a dream, going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then this, for me, is like, let's say advertising is like dream stage 1. Now we go deeper into manipulation by sort of even higher forces, into not just manipulating you into buying a product, but like
just even like your values, you know, they manipulate your values.
Sure.
Even like thinking you have to like have a fucking wife and kids for shit to be you know, normal. You gotta have a 9 to 5 and contribute to society in order for you to be like, you know, for you to have a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
And where does that come from? It's not you. It's not natural. It's these fucking. It's like the inner machinations of what's basically years and years and years of taking in information. A lot of it you're not even you're not even aware. You're watching the TV, and when the ads come on, like you watch them, but you're not like paying attention. You know what I mean? But you absorb it. But you still absorb it. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks pass. And then 3 years pass, and it's still just in there, and you every day in and day out. You don't watch TV? Fine. You walk down the street. Yeah. You see taxis every day outside. With the fucking things on top of on the little pyramid on top of the taxi with the little ads on it. Yeah. Like it's fucking everywhere, and it's the older and older you get, the more you live in like the modern fucking. Like just the modern world, and if you're not like in a third world country removed from all this shit, like it's an unstoppable process, bro.
Yeah, but I think
and I think deeper and deeper and deeper.
And our Western culture, we've also laid out this path, like this is life. Right. You're born. You have these couple years of like fucking around and becoming bigger. And then you go to preschool and this school and that school.
It's immediately rigid structure.
Right, university, and you get in university. In university, you have to know what you want to do for the rest of your life, because if you don't, then who knows what's going to happen? You're going to fall. You're going to stray off the path, and then everything's going to go bad. You're going to become a drug addict and be homeless and shit like that. But whoever said that, like, who? I mean, it came up from people that wanted to create like a structure in society, I believe, right? And well-intentioned, we want our youngins to sort of like thing, we want to do the right thing,
get people to do the right thing.
And society has become so big that we had to standardize on such a large scale. So like the things that you learned in school were the same things that I learned in school. Pretty much doesn't matter where you are on the planet. Like you get math, you get a language or two or three, and like you have different classes and different subjects, and this is the way it is. And unless you go to some weird fucking hippie school.
Or your home school. Well, not even then you get the same shit, right? Yeah, it's weird.
And then you have to get a degree because you need to get good grades.
What if we ever we want to talk about. Okay, so let's revert back to like dreams, all right?
Yeah.
What if we figure what would be the repercussions if we actually figured out what they are, right? Because we don't even know what the fuck in 2020 we don't know what dreams are.
Yeah.
We can monitor the brain and see what's firing, you know what I mean, and see how active it is in the dream state, but we have no idea where it's like coming from, where you go, what the why do we sleep? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What the fuck is the point?
Yeah. Well, sleep, I think the act of sleeping it's easier to research, and the science about it and is more like
they don't know why we do it though. The general idea is like, okay, well, like for recuperation and shit, but why do you have to shut off? You can rest.
Yeah, like why do you have to close your eyes
for 8 hours and go to this weird world?
Why is your vision not working and all this shit? Yeah, I guess
there's no right. What's the evolutionary purpose? Right. Like especially if, like you have to think.
And why do we do it during the night and like?
When you're most vulnerable. Right. Why would you become your most vulnerable at the most vulnerable time when a predator can just walk up and snatch you? Yep. Where's the evolutionary benefit to that? So there's got to be something else going on there, especially, if animals dream, right?
Yeah.
Things that, we could argue that, okay, well,
and we evolved past dream, bro.
Yeah. Everybody. It's fucking weird.
We all close our eyes at night and go into this weird psychedelic different dimension. And then you wake up and like sometimes nothing, sometimes 10 seconds, sometimes you remember the general story, but that story can have taken place in 3 seconds. Like you can think of an entire crazy scenario in 2 seconds.
Right. Whole universe.
Who says that the actions in that scenario took the same amount of time as they would in real life? Like they can all have happened in the last 1 minute. Like this shit we don't know.
Yeah, because there's no way to see what someone's dreaming.
We can have 7 million dreams in one night.
And only remember that 2 seconds.
Yep.
We don't, You never know how much you forget.
Bro? Why?
They know that, I know that there's something, the pineal gland and like DMT has something to do with it, doesn't it? So
well, that's what they speculate. I don't even think that they know that as a fact yet.
I think it makes a lot of sense just that, again, not that, especially if it is just like, maybe that's what you're tapping into when you do psychedelic, like tryptamine based drugs like psilocybin and shit. What if you're just turning on those same chemicals that you sleep with? Yeah. So maybe it's not like some like special universe or something, but it is something inside us that like, what is the point? Why is that there?
Yeah.
Is it, I would argue, if I had to guess, it's probably got something to do, like you for some reason you need this set amount of time for your body to recuperate, and in that time you want the brain to be at its most creative. Like you want to be doing the most, because you probably are, I would imagine, right? Like when you're dreaming, the activity is really low, but as far as like how engaged you are, and again, you're like you said, you're creating like a whole universe. Like that's different than just taking in, you know, looking around and I see a fridge and that's what my brain is interpreting,
I know a little bit
right?
about like because I'm very interested in knowing about creativity, because you know, I'm an artistic person, but I've always wondered like, what is this and why do some people possess it and some people don't, and is it something that is a genetic thing or is it a nature versus nurture thing? I think it's a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum, right? And there's like even things like hot and cold, like that, or black and white. Like you think of it as like there
opposites.
needs to be a balance.
Yeah, because again, it's just look at you think about like a thermometer. Like there's numbers on it, but where does hot? Like again, and at one point I could point to 90 degrees and say that's hot. Yeah, I could point at 20 degrees and say that's cold. But where's that line? There is no arbitrary like actual definition of where that line crosses. It's just a degree of itself.
What I was getting to was that I think they know that when you're in like your most creative state, like they call it the flow state, where like time passes without you noticing, and you're like, you know, you look at the clock and it's like all of a sudden 2 hours passed and you were just locked in this zone and everything around you is kind of like faded away. I think this brain activity is the same, shows the same sort of activity as your like either alpha or beta state of dreaming or sleep or whatever it is. Like I don't know exactly which state, but one of the states, your alpha or your beta, is the same as like when you're in flow state. So this state, you're doing the same thing. Like everything is kind of falls away and your brain is just like firing. But instead of like you doing this creative act, you're just like your eyes are closed and it's all happening. But then sleep is divided in these stages which through brain research, they show that like, okay, brain activity is at this point, then you're in this state, and then you go into rapid eye movement, REM sleep. So, and it happens in cycles. So I think there's like 3 full cycles per night of sleep or some shit like that.
Well, it depends on how much sleep. That's the other thing though, right? That it's weird that there's like that set of like 8 hours, right? That's the magic number where it's a healthy cycle.
Right.
Why? Where does that number come from? And I'm sure it's different in all animals. I mean, obviously there's some that are nocturnal.
I think it does. It doesn't have.
It
does have something to do with just like the cycle of night. Like we fall asleep when it gets dark and we wake up when it's light. I remember actually in high school, I took a class called Cambridge fucking. Some Cambridge English shit where it's just like a research class basically. It was like AP type class.
So AP studying?
Yeah.
You just go,
no, you had like the whole semester.
Go online and just Google stuff. That'd be sick, bro. I'd be reading about fucking like seals raping penguins and shit. Yeah. That's like a real thing, dude.
Funny thing, my paper was actually about seals fucking penguins.
They do it, bro. I swear to God.
In their sleep.
There's only been like 4 recorded cases from what my research.
Yeah, and 5 if you include the one that happened in Antarctica. I
think a lot of them happened there, or 3 of the 4 at least. And it's always I'm sorry to even go down. I swear to God, bro.
4 of the 3 happened in Antarctica.
4 of the 3, and what's crazy is that 2 of the 9 of the 6
was in Australia, right?
No, were males. So like sometimes the male seal will rape a male penguin or rape a female. Like it doesn't care. And so, but it does. Like I think it does penetrate.
I heard that male penguins
pussies work though.
There's actually a higher proportion of male penguins raping sea lions. Than otters.
What I was
raping camels.
I swear to God, I don't want you to mislead the audience. What I was saying was true.
No, I know. But I'm just saying like. I was giving you a random fact that was like slightly similar.
See, I hate you because No one, I can't tell. No one can. I don't know when I'm serious. I don't know when you're joking. I don't know ever what's happening when I'm with you. We're like in this like
dream.
This is where I'm supposed to wake up now, right? Okay, so
earlier I think we were talking about like sleep paralysis and shit, and I thought that was kind of cool.
See, that's something that I didn't know what that was until like I was told about it. We first heard about it probably, I don't know if that was your first time, but we first heard about it in high school.
Yeah.
When our friend was telling us about his sleep paralysis stories. And at the time I remember being like, oh, what? And then like I Googled it and I was like, okay, it's like this thing, but I didn't really think about it much because I was like 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until like later on.
All you thought about was dicks, right?
When I was 15, yeah, dude. I was like Jonah Hill in Superbad, where I was just, my whole notebook, dude, was just drenched in cock.
Your whole notebook
was soaking in dick. No, not even well, I came in a couple notebooks.
Pause. Continue the story.
No, this was actually just like intentionally gay.
Oh.
You don't got to pause it. And then, so by the time I figured out what it was and I like understood that it was something that people had gone through, I was in like early adulthood and I was just like, it was too late. I hadn't gone through it. And now that I'm like not a kid and I'm fully aware and I know what it is, I've never gone through it, I want to go through it. Because I feel like I at least be like, oh, this is sleep paralysis. You know what I mean? And I'm just so curious because it is like this almost supernatural thing. Yeah. I know you had an experience and you didn't see anything.
Fortunately, I had the experience, but unfortunately, I had the experience too.
Yeah. But see, were you able to be like, okay, this is sleep paralysis? No, but you didn't say you did, right? You didn't have that thought?
So I think this happened after we found out about Desi. But I knew what sleep paralysis was, but all I knew about was like I saw it in memes and shit. I don't know, like I didn't really know about it.
It would be like, you look over and it's like a funny picture of a monster. Yeah,
right. So like I was like, all right, cool. But then it happened to me. And I remember exactly, like I just remember it, and I think it happened like after a night where I went out and like I drank and shit, and so I fell asleep, and I was laying on my back, and all of a sudden like shit, just like everything started like feeling weird and tensing up and shit.
Wait, had you fallen asleep yet?
Yeah.
Okay, you were asleep.
I mean, I don't know. I was kind of drunk, so like. I don't remember when I fell asleep.
You didn't black out, but you browned out.
Right.
You browned out.
Maybe, yeah. Or like, yeah. And like,
or like,
and I was laying on my back, and I couldn't move, and it was scary because my brain was
since we're stating facts,
right? My brain was just conscious, and I couldn't move. My brain was conscious. Constance.
My brain was
constipated.
Constantinople.
Yeah. And my body could not move. And it was weird as shit because I've never ever had to experience anything like that in my life. Where it was like I was disconnected for the first time in my life. Where like I couldn't like you don't have to think about doing this. Like your finger moves, right? Like okay, now a finger goes up, down, up, but you don't think that. But at that moment I started thinking that, like, move my hand, bro. Just move your finger. And it didn't do it. And it was just scary. So what I didn't have was the weird monsters and shit. I was just paralyzed, basically.
Well, I think it's usually... I think that the monster thing I think it's usually just like a shadowy figure. Like something you can't really make out.
Right, because your brain is half asleep, but... you can't move, so this has to be a dream, right? Like there has to be something holding you down. So I think a lot of people start imagining these things.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's like a game of telephone because it is such it's a phenomenon that's been here as long as people have slept, probably. And there was a lot of like weird. I've done a little bit of research on it, and there's like medieval, like depictions of shit of people with like a little gargoyle sitting on their chest at night, and that's their interpretation.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's like a small monster or some shit. Like, I did feel like I couldn't breathe and shit.
So there was like pressure on your chest, but you didn't see the thing on your chest?
I felt pressed down because how else could I not move my body, maybe?
See, that's funny. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe, people swear by it though. People are like, oh, I swear I saw something. But maybe, maybe it is. It's just how you interpret something so obscure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's such a weird experience and brain only has, it goes back on data that it does have, compares it to what it's experiencing, and then gives you its best interpretation of what's happening. And it's something that's so alien, maybe your shit just can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting because because we sleep and dream, it has to be something that's biologically beneficial to us, right?
Exactly, right, yeah.
So what is the
or if not even beneficial, that it has a role, right? Like it fits into a part
we need
of
to do it in order to live because when we don't sleep, we go crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you go start seeing shit.
So what is the biological evolutionary product of why do we have sleep paralysis?
Holy shit, I have a crazy idea now, right? So like what if so when you stop sleeping a lot, you start hallucinating. Like you literally see shit. So like that part of your brain, whatever it is that it also goes off during like a trip, for example,
right,
is firing. Like it starts it's out of whack, however you want to say it, right? What if that's what it is? What if our brains is naturally, again, without sleep, without rest, if you just let your brain go and don't shut it off for a little bit and turn it into sleep mode, literally, it just starts to, it goes active, and it breaks those hinges. And that same shit that you could induce on yourself by taking a mushroom or smoking some DMT or taking a tab, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of city, whatever you want to do, city in the city, whatever it is, however you get your...
As long as it's not shitty.
Litty, sucking on some titties. Yeah. And maybe that's what, like, you can access it, but that's literally like, what if it is just a byproduct of this thing we don't understand, our creativity running amok for too long, and then it just, again, the lines start getting blurred. And that's why you need to sleep to hold that at bay. Otherwise, you'd just be out there seeing shit. The world would be fucking unhinged.
So it's like compressed into this like period of time when you're like not active and you can't like
exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting, bro.
And it instead of walking the streets and you're dreaming at literally seeing shit, just do it right here.
What about
get it
like
out your system and then go about your day?
Those geniuses and this super creative people, like we were talking about, like Stanley Kubrick and people that have access to. It seems more bandwidth,
right?
Or are more like
they're just in a different reality.
What if they like have some of that dream spills out into like their regular day?
You know what's a common thread between a lot of really creative, really genius, really it just people whose brains are generally very active is they don't sleep a lot, dog. They get five. You hear that all the time amongst these really successful people. They sleep 5 hours a day, 4 hours a day. Maybe that just is a little bit, like you said, bleeding through. Yeah. Not enough to see shit, and you know what I mean?
And
to go nuts.
There's stories of like, what's his face? Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, like the stoic of it.
Mark of the Israeli?
Yeah, the Israeli Mark.
Like it's like a Star of David that they like put on. Like, you know how they have the Ash Wednesday? That's a cross on your head? What if they just put a Star of David? That's the mark of Israel.
Yeah, so him and like Einstein.
that guy.
And Dali and Einstein. And they had this thing in common where like they didn't really follow the regular pattern of sleeping, but when they just slept, like when they were tired, and then they would wake up after like 20 or 30 minutes of napping, basically,
and just be good and just keep it pushing.
Yeah, maybe the group of people that I just named is not in this, like don't all follow this, but I feel like Marcus Aurelius might have been on that list. But it's this thing where you sleep, basically like take 20-minute naps
throughout the day whenever it hits you.
Like 8 times a day. And so your time sleeping is like 2 hours or like 4 hours, and the rest of the day you're awake. And it's this training period that you have to go through. And then you're like, your body is like adjusted to it.
Right.
And
like
you can like
it's like when you change your diet, bro. You
function,
have to like,
you can actually function
ease yourself
on like 3 hours of sleep because of this like pattern of taking these intermittent naps.
See, it's funny because I have noticed that there is like kind of like a sweet spot where like if I sleep too little, I'm really tired, and if I sleep too much, I'm really tired. But if I get in the middle zone, like I would say,
it's so true.
Like I would rather probably sleep for like 4 hours than like 6. Because it's not quite that 8
so they say
where I feel good.
That actually has to do with your sleep cycles. Because
and you're like interrupting the shit, right?
It's better to wake up at one point in the sleep cycle than it is like halfway through another point.
REM, like right. I feel that.
So maybe everybody has that sweet spot because like they just like happen to end their fucking sleep cycle in that exact same, but
I mean,
know
everything,
exactly.
Again, everything is math. Like, again, even the time of, that's why we have 365 days in a year. Like, it's not like an arbitrary number. It has to do with, again, the sun of the cycle. So it would make sense that there's something like that inside of us, because everything is just
like just one piece of the entire puzzle, and
we all reflect each other. That's the thing. Like, the same way that like a single cell,
mirror.
Like a mirror.
Yeah. It's kind of like magic.
They can't see it, but I don't know if anyone has a mirror at home. If you do, go in front of it. If you put your hand in front of it, you'll see your hand, and then you'll also probably see you, and you'll see a lot of stuff. It's crazy. Mirrors. Yeah. We're sponsored by mirrors today.
Yeah,
mirrors.
Except for if they're like on the outside.
Realize
of the building.
how shitty something really is. Sorry, that's the tagline of the company.
Windows are kind of like mirrors, but not really.
You just blew my fucking mind, bro. Dude, sunglasses are like mirrors, but are windows, but little windows that you just put.
They're like
your
windows
face.
For your eyes, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's you know what they say your eyes are, right? Windows to the
your soul.
So it's
mirrors.
It's like windowception. And on that note, guys, we're over. That's it. We end on that note. No, but okay. I just had to blow a hole through everything, and the little rhythm we hit just fucking ruined it real quick. But I will tell you this, though. If we ever figured it out, it would be like the greatest discovery of all fucking time.
Yeah, because someone is going to be able to figure out how to tap into it and manipulate it and find like a drug so we can access dreams if it isn't just psychedelics
or like some sort of why don't you like just hook up your laptop to your Neuralink and then type it. They'll have an app called Dream State.
In my dream I want to fuck the baddest bitches on this planet,
like an essay. You just input it, you input what you want, and the AI of the app will interpret what you've written and then spit out a perfectly rendered. And guess what, bro? It just listen, sorry, bro, we have the Neuralink, bro. You're now accessing the greatest computer of all time, the human brain. What if you could again just program it, just like you could program a regular computer? Who needs He needs to use Maya and all these fucking 3D graphics rendering apps, fucking oh my god, programs. Thank you. All these fucking rendering programs, and then when you could just input it into someone's brain and it just will spit it the fuck out right there because it's the most intuitive computer of all time. For example, Starsky, picture a turtle with a blue bandana, but it's got a fucking sword on its back. Now, are you picturing a ninja turtle or are you picturing a living turtle with this? I don't know, but it's a good ass picture of it. Whatever it is, it's the best picture.
The greatest form of immersive entertainment.
Exactly. And just, you know,
we're gonna get
they beam shit into your head and all the old sci-fi shit.
Right.
What if they instead of literally beaming it into your head,
you just like
came on your face, bro? For the listeners who aren't watching, they'll be like, "Oh Jesus!" Every time I watch this podcast, somebody comes on somebody, and it's just like the first 2 hours, all right, but it's just getting weird. It's like a shtick. It's like one of their gimmicks, I guess. But I don't know if I can get behind it.
The Cumcast.
The Cumcast. Oh God! It's gonna be the Shuttle. Hashtag it's the Shuttle 2 Cumcast. That'll be our like after hours podcast we do. But yeah, if you could program it and use it, what an industry again, like for real. You would all these
no people would get it'll be like the it's like better than any drug. I feel like
any movie.
It's an escape. It's an escape of reality.
Life would be pointless.
Isn't that right? Life will be over.
And here's the thing. Now here's another rabbit hole.
Isn't this what the Matrix is though?
Basically. That's what I was about to say. Again, like the simulation
it's like
idea,
all these people in these little pods and they're connected through some sort of wire and they're shot into this programmed reality. Like what I meant. I see what you're saying. It's on a mass scale. It's not on a personal scale.
And again, you don't need some massive computer even making the simulation. You just need a human brain.
Right.
So if we ever actually did figure this out, we were talking about like
again, and could I enter your brain, bro?
I mean,
like that'd be a program. We could be like, "Yo,
I think you're already in my brain, Poppy."
Pause.
Just all the excitement just fell off his face. Nah, but for real, bro, it would negate any reason to just live in the real world. Why the fuck would you even bother? What's the fucking point? What's the fucking point? if you could just go in.
I think we hit.
Bro, I can't fly right now, but if this existed, I could just go fly. And every time, listen, the minute this happens, bro, the minute this gets invented and people start doing this, for every dream, again, you just like you go in there and it's for whatever, however many minutes the dream lasts for, it feels like days, or it feels like a whole lifetime.
I've never been.
You're creating in a universe every time. Like fuck an actual simulation someone made where they simulate reality. If you could tap into someone's brain, for every dream that one of the 7 billion people had, there would be a new universe created. And for them, it was 5 minutes, and it felt like 5 minutes. But for you and me right now,
that's how it works in Inception too, right? The dreams like are
the more you go into, the slower it goes
down.
The deeper
I was gonna say
bananas.
You know, everyone has had the dreams where they're like, it's a cool ass dream, whether you're like coming on somebody or about to, and then you wake up.
But see, that's what this podcast is about. Why dream about coming on someone when I can actually get on the air and come on Starsky on camera and on the microphone?
This better be a fucking dream. No, but I'm saying, like, you have an awesome dream, and you're about to hit a fucking climax, and then somebody wakes you up, or you wake up and you just want to go back, bro.
Yeah, you just blue balled.
Everything in your
blue balled.
I'm gonna finish this fucking dream.
I want to finish stroking this fucking part of my brain, bro.
But it's not working.
I didn't come in my third eye.
If that technology, the point I'm trying to get to is, like, if that technology gets invented, like, we can finish our dreams the next night.
Also, bro, it's also the perfect, again, because with time slowing down and shit. What if you don't even have to be like, it doesn't have to be an entertainment thing. I can go into that world where shit moves way slower and get more hours out of the day. Not only am I sleeping, I'm not sleeping for 8 hours. It feels like 5 days, bro, and I can just go in there and think about my next project or this problem I'm having with my girl or whatever.
About DMT,
what I want to do
it's like a 5-minute trip or like a 20-minute trip, but you can like live exponentially in this other dimension.
I love this because at the start of this podcast, I got shitted on for going into the government early on, and then we went immediately into corporations and psychedelics, and
we hit every sort of
just dumb dickhead stoner guy.
The fucking government and the media, bro.
I swear.
And drugs are the best.
Bro, Alex Jones is my hero. Come on, guys. Well, on that note, I think
we should keep a government count. I feel
of how many times we say the word the government or them.
Yeah,
they,
society, bro.
Society.
It's never you. It's always everybody else.
Society,
and everything that we can't control.
Yeah, you're just worrying about bullshit, bro. Yeah, I've been spending way too much time.
We are nothing. Really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. You might as well just fucking do what your heart really wants to do, because none of it really matters.
You're 80 years out of a fucking million trillion years
gavillion
of the universe.
If you're lucky, you're
as a million.
Tasmanian devil. Well, if you thought that was, I don't know, it went off the rails a little bit, but I think it was entertaining. And if you thought it was entertaining, also remember, if you don't like and subscribe, then you're not allowed to listen anymore. That's just you're banned. Yeah, we will find you. It's personal for us. All right, it's never business.
We have access to the government.
We are them.
Secretly, though, don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Again, if you got to this point at the end of the video, then that means you liked and subscribed and shit. So it's okay. You're allowed to know. But don't tell any of the dumb dickheads who didn't do it yet, because they're just way behind and we have to leave them behind. That's where they belong.
Our goal is to have the entire world subscribe to us.
Peons. Well, not only the smart ones, though. You know, only the cool ones. The ones who fuck bitches, you know. The ones we... So listen, if you fuck bitches...
because everyone is useful. Everybody has a purpose.
I mean, vegetables... What are they really? I mean, unless I guess they're dreaming forever. What if their dreams are like, you know, they're dreaming forever?
Like cucumbers?
No, I meant like people who are vegetables, but you know what I mean, like who?
Oh, and I thought like vegetables that are vegetables.
Now, vegetables play a role. I love vegetables. I love cucumber.
Anyway, I hope we fucking shuttled you from Inception the movie to thinking about something
cool.
Something cool.
For real.
By that.
Nah, I want to take a second to say that. Again, I think that's the point of the fucking podcast. Though. Exactly. Like, if nothing else, at the end of the day, it's just about, you should think more. It doesn't matter if it doesn't fucking make any sense at first. You know what I mean? You got to follow your brain, follow that trail of creativity. Never fucking lose that. Never lose that fire, bro. It's everything. Always be curious. Always be, you know, poking and prodding.
Try and know more about life. Where can we find you? How can we know more about you?
Well, my Pornhub account is called Jimmy Two Sacks and Two Balls.
And you can find me at Daytona Starsky everywhere.
And also if you want to get me on Instagram or anything like that, it's No NASA NYC on Twitter, Instagram, and if you want to follow my music, it's just No NASA, like NASA.
Thanks for listening, peoples.
I love you guys.
We love you so much.
Have a good,
in a real way.
Have a good year or a bazillion years. Yeah, if you're injured, you don't know how long. Good night. Have a good time.
Buenos noches.
Sleep tight. Mwah. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Okay, for real though.
Fucking fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't hear myself.
Inception. Detection. Perfection.
Election.
No lessons.
Ukraine. Make it rain.
Donald Trump.
In the club.
Eating nuts. Don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Christopher Nolan.
Leo.